Good morning. It is a beautiful day. Today we're talking about sleep. There's a lot to cover, so we're just going to go right in. Two types of sleep. There's REM sleep, which is your dreaming sleep, and then there's non-REM sleep. And in the non-REM sleep realm, there is 4 stages, 1 through 4. Stages 3 and 4 is where most of the body replenishment takes place. Also, interesting to note, these are the stages of sleep that one half of your brain will resist getting into when you're sleeping in a foreign environment like a hotel or anywhere that you're not normally used to. So that type of deeper sleep, if you're sleeping somewhere unfamiliar, half your brain is not going to want to go into, so you'll feel less rested than you do at home. REM sleep it's extremely important, even though a lot of people think it's maybe not as important as deep sleep. It's just as important. When it comes to things like alcohol or drugs, marijuana, things like that, they have a reputation. They have a reputation for helping you sleep better. And this isn't necessarily true. It does help you get to sleep better, but the quality of sleep that happens when you get to sleep is not the best quality. You don't get as deep of sleep. It also blocks your REM sleeping pretty much all the time. So whenever you either go to sleep with alcohol or cannabis or things like that, you're almost never going to be able to get into that REM dreaming sleep. When it comes to performance and skills and things like that, sleep is the best legal performance enhancing drug that most people don't really realize, because when you're practicing a skill, whether it's as a musician or a sport or things like that, when your body sleeps, get my notes. We take that information and we kind of fine tune it in our dream sleep, and then when you wake up, you can be, I believe, 20 to 30% better at your skill when you wake up, because in your dreams you have actually practiced this. Children, you have actually practiced this in your sleep, so when you wake up, your body remembers that. Effects of lack of sleep. When it comes to physical performance, if you get 6 hours of sleep or less, your time to physical exhaustion, so the amount of time from when you're fresh to when you're physically exhausted, drops by 30%. When you are underslept, lactic acid builds up quicker. The ability of your lungs to expire CO2 and inhale oxygen decreases. And then also you're at a higher risk for injury when you sleep less. We need at least 7 to 9 hours a night, ideally. That would be ideal. Another thing is, when we do sleep, there's a type of sewage system in our brain that cleanses the brain of the metabolic toxins that have accumulated throughout the day. So the less that you sleep, the more those things build up. And this is actually one of the most significant lifestyle factors for determining whether or not you develop Alzheimer's disease. Because one of these toxins is the one that builds up over time. Another thing that lack of sleep is linked to is bowel, prostate, and breast cancer. Let's talk about sleep and weight. So there is a hormone called leptin, which tells our brain that we're full, and then there's a hormone called ghrelin, which does the opposite. It tells our brain that we're hungry. So the less sleep that we get, the more that the leptin gets suppressed, and the more that the ghrelin gets ramped up. So basically, if you're sleeping less than 6 hours a night, those people will, on average, eat 2 to 300 extra calories each day, which equals, I think, 10 to 15 pounds of extra body mass. So what happens is when we sleep less, the leptin gets suppressed. So that means the hormone that says, hey, we're full, there's less of it there. So it takes longer for us to realize that we're full. And then on the opposite side, the ghrelin, which says that we're hungry, gets ramped up. So even if we're not really hungry, the hormone that tells our brain that we're hungry is increased. So we're hungrier, even though we're not actually hungry, we're hungrier, and it takes us longer to get full. So the less sleep you get, it messes with your hormones on those levels and can actually be really detrimental if you are trying to lose weight. And it's going to be also, comes down to, it's going to be really difficult to use your willpower to fight those hunger cravings, when in reality, all you need to do is sleep more, and you won't have that imbalance in your hormones, which is going to cause you to feel hungrier and take longer to be full. A couple statistics. 1 out of every 2 adults in America are not getting 8 hours of sleep every night, and then 1 out of 3 people are trying to survive on 6 hours or less, which is just not good. Another thing, a couple things about the longer that you're awake and the less that you sleep. After 20 hours of being awake, you are physically and cognitively as impaired as you would be if you were legally drunk after 10 straight hours of being awake. And then with 14 days of 6 hours of sleep or less, so if you sleep for less than 6 hours for 2 weeks straight, your cognitive performance nosedives, and it doesn't have, unless you start getting some serious sleep restoration, it doesn't have any sign of leveling off. It'll just keep going down. Tips to sleep better. Cut off your iPhone or computer use an hour before bed. If you use your iPhone or a screen or things like that within an hour of sleep, it'll delay the onset of your melatonin by about 3 hours. And then also when you get to your peak, the melatonin levels will be half of what they normally are. So all of that together equals less REM sleep. Another thing to help with getting better sleep is to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. Keep your house as cold as you can stand it, which is really difficult for me because I don't like my house cold at all. But when you sleep, your brain needs to drop its temperature a couple degrees in order to sleep the best way, like at the highest quality. So that can either mean taking a warm bath right before bed so that when you get out of the bath and go to sleep, your body temperature drops. That could be sleeping with less clothes on, or that could just be keeping a fan, or just turning your temperature way, way down. And then if you're still having difficulty sleeping, supplements like melatonin can be really helpful, especially as you get older. Your circadian rhythm, which is the rhythm of your body that's like, okay, sunrise awake and sunset go to sleep, like that type of natural internal rhythm that our sleep cycle is based off of generally, starts to get kind of whacked. And so if you are struggling with that, nightly use of melatonin can also be really beneficial as well. So covered a lot. If you have any questions, always feel free to text me. If you have any concerns about your own sleep, again, feel free to text me. We can brainstorm and figure out how we can get you sleeping better, because that is so key. But have a great day.